Hi beautiful superstar sisters, and today we're going to be talking about hover shoes. Now, just thinking about hover, I think about helicopters. You know how they have the propellers that enable them to sort of stay in one place. Now, whilst that is useful from the aspect of you want to be able to land in a specific place or having a bird's eye view of something, I prefer to use my owl shoes or super owl shoes, which is one of the videos that is in the YouTube channel, and you can do hashtag owl shoes in the Facebook group, and you can watch that if you haven't already watched it. And it's, you know, all about getting that observation kind of viewpoint. I'm not really talking about hover shoes in that respect. I'm talking about hover shoes in that, how stagnant are we? Like, you're just not going anywhere. I mean, when you're hovering, you're not going up or down. You're not going forwards or backwards. You're just stuck, aren't you? And what I love about something that Tony Robbins talks about is that he says that happiness is often determined by, and achievement is often determined by progress, by, you know, growth. And that is one of the things that, you know, I am all about, is that, you know, taking that next step, even if it's a little one, you know, even if the helicopter is going just a little bit forward, it's actually, at least it's moving, as opposed to just staying stuck. And so many people that come to me are stuck. They're just like, I'm not achieving anything. I'm not going anywhere. It's just the same old, same old. It's the same old grind. You know, they're not expanding their minds, which is why I love this stuff, because, you know, we're just so blessed. Like, you know, I can cast this information of gold that I've accumulated from over the years, like all these beautiful little gems, these little nuggets, and I've compressed it into all these tiny little videos that are 10 minutes or so long, in some case 20, that you can listen to while you're vacuuming, while you're doing your chores, while you're folding the washing, while you're doing the gardening, while you're doing your exercise, whilst you're going on your walk, you know, while you're doing the cooking. And in that moment, like, I've done all the hard yakka, I've spent all this money learning from people like Tony Robbins, and I gotta tell you, he's not cheap. And you know, and I've done the in live stuff, so not his online stuff, you know, online stuff. He didn't used to have that pre-COVID. That's only since the pandemic that stuff's come on. And, you know, I put this all into these little bite-sized chunks of material that is accessible to you for free. Like, you can get onto it on YouTube whenever you like. You can just look up whatever video you want to listen to today and hit that little baby, and away you go. Now, that gives you that progress, that takes you out of that stagnant hover zone to the next step. Like I talk about the next step with your shoes, you know, but with the flying, it'll be like, oh, and the next one, and it's a little bit forward, and it's a little bit forward. And sometimes you need to do that if you've got too much going on. Hey, and this is the thing, when we're so overwhelmed, put your hands up, everybody's in overwhelm these days, you know, and that's why they're so stressed. We're so overwhelmed, we're so stressed, we're like, well, I can't do anything, and it becomes too much, and then they implode and they land up being stagnant. They just collapse in a heap just where they are, and then they don't progress anywhere. They don't go forward, they don't go backwards. Sometimes they go backwards, thinking, oh, you know, it's easier doing it that way. Or, you know, they get depressed because they're thinking about, you know, the old days, it was better. I had my freedom when I was traveling. I had that the other day from someone who was like, you know, as much as I love my family life, etc., I kind of have a yearning for my travel. I have my yearning for my freedom days when I was younger. But when we did the analysis, she actually found that actually she's happier now than where she was before. But that whole stagnant thing is about not progressing, and it's back to that whole it's not natural for us not to grow. We need to expand. This is why we are here. This is the human experience, is, you know, to experience new, to, you know, live life on our terms and expand our way, our paths in a way that we want to have them expand. And, you know, you can't do that if you're just sitting still and not doing anything about it. You actually have to take the step. And that's, you know, and I'll talk about that, I think, in the next video, where, you know, you're going to need some Nike shoes and not the ones that you buy. You know, you can buy those if you want to, but this is an analogy for. Now, what I would like to talk about is just the awareness of just how stagnant are you. Like, are you a procrastinator? Like, do you just sort of, it's too hard, or it's too much, or what are your things? List today. After you've watched this video, I'd like you to go, right, these are the things that I stall on. These are the things that I hover on. These are the things I procrastinate on. List them. So it might be that, you know, oh, I know that I should go to the gym. We had that in the Facebook group today. One of the ladies was saying that, you know, she knows she should go to the gym, but she just can't be asked. She, you know, doesn't want to go there, whatever. Okay, acknowledge that. Just go, do you know what? I know I should, but I don't. I know I have, but I haven't. And it might be that, you know, I want to, you know, so it's, I want to wear these shoes. I want to learn this, you know, new thing, this new course thing. But you know what? I don't, you know. So just recognize what it is that's actually where you're actually stuck. Is it that, you know, you might be stagnant in your relationship? You might be in a dead-end job. It might be that, you know, you're just not taking the steps that you need to in your lifestyle that need to be addressed for your weight, for your health, for your fitness. You know, and just be aware of like where you're at now. And then what I'd like you to do is have on the other side of the list, where would you like to be, so that you can get a gauge of this is where you're here and how can we get you to where you want to actually go. So it might be, for example, that you go, do you know what, I just hate the gym, you know, which is what we had today in the Facebook group, Facebook Live, and it was, you know, all about I know I have to, but I just don't want to. And when, you know, I don't know what's going on because it was a Facebook Live scenario. It was a question that got sent in. But effectively, you know, is it that you don't like gym? If you don't like gym, don't do gym. There's all sorts of other exercises. Go swimming. If you like swimming, go swimming. Like I'm a big swimmer. I love my swimming. I'd sooner swim than run. Then I've got friends who would sooner bike than swim. So, you know, I always said, like, if it was a triathlon, I would be the swimming league of that. Pick the exercise that works for you. And then what I would also say is don't overcorrect, because this is quite often where the wheels come off and you'll end up sabotaging your progress. Is like, you know, ladies will go to the gym beginning of the year, they sign up, and then they overcorrect. They go all out. And then it's too much, it's too hard, and the body goes into shock and it goes, no, thank you, I'm not doing that again. And that's why gym memberships fall over. And that's why gym memberships make lots of money, because they know that after like pretty much 3 weeks, most of the people aren't going to be in it, which is why you have to sign a minimum 6-month contract or whatever it is that they do, because they know this is a standard kind of thing. So don't beat yourself up about it. They actually market in the world around this. So be aware of that. So identify, you know, do you know what? I have got my hover shoes on and I didn't even realize. And this is where I'm stalling. This is where I'm stuck. This is where I'm just not feeling any growth and progress. So if you think about a seed that gets put in the ground and it watered, when, you know, from the rain, or we water it and it grows and it becomes a big beautiful flower. Well, the analogy that the gurus talk about and whatnot is that if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay, so they don't even agree with the stagnant thing. They don't agree with the stuckness thing, in the sense that it's like, you know, you hover and you're not moving on. In the sense of the growing of the plant, it's like if you're not growing, you're dying. So which way are you going to go? I would rather you grow, personally. If you're up for growing, say aye, thumbs up, please. You know, hit the like button and say, yep, I'm one of those people. I'm up for growing. I'm up for expanding. I'm up for improving myself. I'm up for taking myself to the next level. I'm up for being better than what I was before. And the first step is to recognize where you're stuck. Like, that's just where we're at right now. So that's your little exercise for today. Just recognize, where am I stuck in my life? Where am I stagnant? I didn't even realize that I had my hover shoes on, my stagnant shoes on, Or, you know, I just want to know this is where I am right now. Then in the next column on the other side, go, where do I actually want to be? So that you can get a goal that's on your path going your way, which is what this is all about. Your shoes, your path, your way. Namaste.